Hi there, my name is David and welcome to Bricks, Vlogs and MOCs. So first I just want to thank you so much, 2,000 subscribers. Oh my god, it actually went pretty, I don't know if it went pretty quickly. But you know, it wasn't at least that many videos ago that I made a video celebrating 1,000 subscribers. So 2,000 now, the double. It's so amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. For today's video, I have actually built my favorite hot hatchbacks, and first it's the BMW 135iM, I think it's called, 2013 edition. I'm always struggling to say that. And the Golf GTI Mark 7. And some of you might think, oh, two German cars, but what about like the Ford Focus ST and the Renault Clio Cup thing, and all the GDM hot hatchbacks like the Honda Civic Type R and the Toyota GR Yaris, which is maybe like the hottest hot hatchback right now. And I actually really like the Toyota GR Yaris. It was actually one on Instagram that suggested me to design the Toyota GR Yaris rim, because I haven't mentioned this. I will actually try to release some rims again, but this time I will try to build up a lot of bigger library of rims, and I will 3D print them myself. I started, as you can see here, I started to design some rims. Of course, here we have the GR Yaris rims. So right now I'm kind of developing these rims, and I'm test printing a lot and so on. And yeah, when I feel ready and feel comfortable with releasing some rims, I think I'm gonna start with releasing like 5 rims a week or so. I don't really like to have an exact schedule, but I will keep releasing some rims until I have built up a pretty big library, hopefully, of a lot of different rims that you can choose from. And I really hope this will be a success and give me a bit more of that financial support that I actually really need. So yeah, but now over to today's video about these hot hatchbacks. I'm actually gonna start out with the interior of these cars this time. I tried my best to create this very iconic checkered pattern. It's not really a checkered pattern on the real Golf GTI. It's more like this red and gray stripes that go across. But it's been very iconic for the Golf GTI. And yeah, I try my best to somewhat create something that looks like that with the Lego pieces. The BMW doesn't have as detailed of an interior, but it has quite a detailed interior. Especially the center console, where I this time used like a snot technique built on the side to get a bit more details to the center console. And both cars also fit 4 minifigs inside, which of course always is really nice. The front of the Golf GTI is also pretty interesting. I was struggling a bit to create this Volkswagen logo, but I ended up using one of these lightsaber handles actually. And for this classic red striping around the front here and the lights, I'll just use some brackets. The BMW has a lot of a simpler grille design compared to my last BMW, which was the 3 Series, but I actually think this looks a bit better, and it's just a lot of snot techniques and brackets and all that classic stuff. And this time I actually also used an illegal building techniques. I kind of use illegal building techniques from time to time, but it's very rarely that I really stretch the pieces. But this time I did really stretch the pieces. I actually placed the tile in an angle here, and it's not hinged in an angle, it's just forced in an angle, because the hinge piece that holds this windscreen takes up the place. So yeah, and I didn't want to work around it this time, and it works, so why not? But speaking of the windscreen, it's actually a bit of a different windscreen design this time. I used one of these bus windscreens, and in my opinion it looks a bit weird. It looks a bit like a hearse, I think it's called in English, a likbil we say here in Sweden, because it looks a bit too narrow and a bit too long, this windscreen. But I want to try something else, and the biggest reason why I used this windscreen was actually because I intended to use these bar pieces that I many times use to create the A-pillars, but I didn't find any suitable bar pieces in orange, unfortunately, and I didn't find any alternative pieces that could have worked for this. So I ended up trying something else with this windscreen, and yeah, it looks a bit weird, but it kind of works. And for the GTI, I actually also decided to use one of these windscreens. It might have looked better to use bar pieces to create the windscreen effect instead, but I really wanted these cars to match together really nicely. So I decided to use this Speed Champions windscreen, which I many times use, and it actually ended up fitting the Golf GTI very well. So yeah, that was fortunate. This time I didn't make any openable functions whatsoever. My intention with these models was actually to make a bit more simpler of builds than I normally do, but yeah, they didn't turn out to be that simple to create anyway. So, but thanks to skipping the functions, they are a tiny bit more durable than most of my other cars. Both rears are also pretty interesting. The Golf GTI, for example, have these really seamless designed rear lights, where I relied a lot on these cheese wedge pieces to like match together, and it's a lot of different upside down building techniques over here. For example, for the rear lights, I used one of these 1x1 round tiles with a bar that sticks and 1x1 round plate that with a bar hole, and I attached them together like this to create this like upside down technique and to match up these transparent red and black cheese wedge pieces perfectly. And other than that, it's just a lot of snot kicks and stuff like that for the rear of the GTI, and yeah, it's pretty nice. And of course the logo here. And for exhaust pipes, I use these 1x1 round plates with the bars in light bluish gray. The BMW also just have a lot of snot technique. If you want to learn more about snot techniques and modified brushes on the side and brackets and all of that, and how I take use of those pieces to create pretty advanced shapes in Lego, you can go and check out my video about my favorite piece, I think the video is called, where I explain a lot more in depth about all of these snot techniques and brackets and all of that. I think you might like it. I used a bit of a different design here for the C-pillars, where I used some of these 1x2 tiles in orange, and yeah, they sit on these 1x1 round plates with bars. A bit weird, and I'm not sure if I'm super happy with that, but yeah, these wedge pieces turned out to be a bit too big for the C-pillars for the BMW. But one thing I really like about the BMW though is how I created this slightly tilted roof. I actually used Technic bricks this time, and it actually ended up working very well, and it's also pretty sturdy actually. So yeah, I really recommend you to try that out for yourself. But yeah, I think that's all it for today. I'm so hot right now. I don't know, it feels like it's like 40 degrees here and I can't think almost. But yeah, we made it through. Good. But yeah, that's all it for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on Instagram, because I post a lot over there. And if you have any recommendations for rims you want me to design, just email me pictures or whatever of rims you want me to design, and I will try my best to design them and hopefully also release them. So yeah, that's all it for today. Bye for now. It might have looked better. It might have. And for the Golf GTI, hadn't it been fun to throw in like a GDM, and it's a lot of upside down building thing.